Okay, so we made it. Infinite Plane Saturnday, July 5th, 2025. Technically, it's still X Day. But the events of X Day, the prophesied arrival of the Xists from Planet X, were supposed to transpire at 7:30 a.m. in Cleveland. And it didn't happen. No surprise to those of us who have followed that particular prophecy, which comes from the Church of the Subgenius. And their claim was that the UFOs would arrive on July 5th early in the morning in Cleveland, beam them up. And it hasn't happened, but that doesn't stop them, the Subgenie, from gathering and having some kind of a party out in a field. Apparently they don't know that the Pentagon made up all that Area 51 crap. All right, we are joined here by, let's see here, almost a full raft. Let's wait until we have 33. Speaking of which, I'm working on a design for a PSYOP trading card about the number 33 hoax code. And I'm going to order that particular card separate so that I can, or a separate set so I can give them away to those of you who win the various pop quizzes that we have frequently. And for those of you who are new here, the answer to the pop quiz, which is something you shouldn't know. It's an answer that you should not know unless you're psychic or unless reality's rigged in some way. The answer is 33, just a heads up. Joined by Rocky USA, Michael Cervantes, Verity, Andrea, Ears Up, Let's Go. Thanks for joining. I'm a little late because I had to swat a gremlin. Well, actually, I had to re-up my Speedify. Speedify is some software you can use that will basically consolidate and improve your connection. And this should prevent any kind of buffering like we've had experience. And since I've been using this, I've been able to actually play audio. Lord Laney says, put the second set on eBay. Well, I ordered them on 7/7, which is kind of an appropriate date. The last set I ordered on 6/11. No, they arrived on 6/11. Well, regardless, I ordered them on Monday. And I'll have them, I think, within a week this time, since I'm not testing one to see if it fits, because I've already got the templates checked and validated. So I think that what I'll probably do is I'll put them on eBay after I have them in hand. And I want to make sure they're here in studio, sorted, put in their packaging. And one other thing, after we have the third set of 12, I'm getting some custom wrappers. So they'll go in a wrapper with some kind of a sticker, or maybe a stick of unchewable bubble gum like the playing cards used to have. But yes, the second set will be on eBay. In fact, right now on eBay I have many of the first set. And I put one of the designs from the second set on my Twitter account. So we'll probably look at that here in a minute. Yeah, okay, now the thing is, these aren't a copy of like the Illuminati playing cards or something like that whatsoever. Because we're not reinforcing the pre-existing, likely Pentagon constructed conspiracy theory culture. Because that's what we're really coming down to. A conspiracy theory culture itself is a Pentagon creation. I think it's a psywar. And it's a psywar attacking, or rather targeting, those who see through the mainstream. So you see through the mainstream because you're still paying attention. You haven't taken so much for granted. Maybe you're a little paranoid, mistrustful. But regardless, your detour from the face value story of the mainstream goes into the alternative realm. And the alternative realm is actually just a sheep pen for stray sheep. And they have a different way to herd them. Since they don't want to be spoon-fed, they leave them breadcrumbs so they can feed themselves the propaganda. And red pills are nothing more than units of propaganda, memes, mind viruses. And I've been looking very critically at the entire red pill community, ideology, whatever you want to call it. It's a type of wokeism. And I was reading this article, and I'm not going to get into it tonight, about this thing called socio-Gnosticism, where this way of framing politics and the mission of the person who's being, politicized and getting radical about it is somehow analogous to like a religious awakening against an oppressive system. But anyway, it just seems like the red pill is a construct. And I've been looking at it very critically because I think it's been exposed lately as alternative propaganda, and they get everything wrong and always have, and it's never going to get fixed. There's no course correction. In fact, they're laughably predictable with every major event that comes out. When I say major event, we're talking about the chapters in our history that is being collectively created every day through fake news. And so the significant events of the day, which always coincidentally mirror what's happening in the movies. In fact, didn't we just live through Top Gun Maverick? I think we just lived through Top Gun Maverick where they dropped the... In fact, I have something here on Top Gun. They dropped the bomb through the ventilation slot. But I did a thorough breakdown of the movie Top Gun, the symbolism around it. But the stories are also chronologically separated by 33 years. After 33 years, we finally have a trailer for Top Gun Maverick sequel. Set 33 years after the original, Maverick sees Captain Pete Maverick denying promotions on purpose. The character Rooster's father died in the previous one. And the rooster is specifically linked to the sun and to Christ. In Christian tradition, the rooster is the symbol of Christ, like the eagle and the lamb, particularly emphasizing the solar symbolism, light and resurrection. As Christ, the rooster announces the light that follows the night. One storyline is Maverick Pete and Tom Cruise's character's relationship with the son of the original wingman. So the story really revolves around the relationship with the son. And the son, of course, is the word son, and S-O-N and S-U-N are actually conflated here. It's all part of the symbolism. Rooster sings. This is all crazy stuff when you get into it, because it's like, wait a minute, are they programming people at this deep level where the average ticket buyers are there to be entertained by an action film, but they're being inundated with all kinds of occult references to sun worship? But yeah, absolutely. So Maverick risks his life to die in order to save Rooster shortly after Rooster nearly dies saving Maverick. They both keep talking about, you saved me, I saved you. A lot of references to sacrificing for the other. The character named Hangman keeps reiterating that he's good. He keeps calling himself good, and when he rises out of the flames of an exploded enemy airplane, he says, "This is your savior speaking." Well, this actor who calls himself good and the savior is essentially referencing himself as, well, God. His name is Hangman. Hangman, of course, is a Christ reference. Anybody care to guess how old the actor who played Hangman was in the movie? Correct. 33. The character's name, another character is Phoenix. And again, the Phoenix is another symbol that has also been synonymous with Christ. And I recently heard today, or last night, that, because I'm watching a movie called Death of a Unicorn. And in it, it references that the unicorn was a symbol of Christ, which I was not aware of. What's up, Cowboy Gaiman? Thanks for the emojis. What's up, Pippi Langstruff? Yo, Van Go here says, yes, Madsen cut the ear off a cop in the 1992 movie Reservoir Dogs. Yeah, we'll get into that in a second here. I just want to go through the rest of this stuff here regarding the meanings of 33 in this context. Top Gun flight helmet, the helmet that he wore, the HGU-33. I think he wore the first one from the helmet from the first movie. Another thing, Tom Cruise's 33 problem, he split with all three of his wives when they turned 33. Yeah, what do you think about that? Every time his wife turns 33, it's like an expiration date, and he dumps her, and he gets another one, and he repeats, and he repeats. And I think these might have been, I got to check, they might have been 11 years apart each. Oh, by the way, 7-3, so he wasn't born on the 4th of July, but the day before, 7-3 was Tom Cruise's birthday, and he's essentially the Jesus Christ of Scientology. Cowboy Gaiman says, I'm trying to get muted or banned. All right. Goals. Okay, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but if you want this article, I'll put a link. There's some connections here with the number 73, and of course he was born on 7/3. 73 seconds, 73 seconds is 1 minute and 13 seconds, which 113, as we've discussed before, has a lot of occult significance in all the various movies and ties into some of the, I guess, immolations. So, for example, the Challenger explodes at 1 minute 13 seconds. But 7/3 is an ambigram. If you flip it, you get EL, which is L, which also has a great deal of pertinence here when we get into the symbolism of names. But I'm going to... One more point here. Top Gun Maverick lights the fires with $33 million through 2 days at the box office. So it makes $33 million at the box office. And I could go into detail about his other movies, how they all have the same symbolism encoded into it. The Hanged Man, the Gnostic resurrecting Christ character, the 33 stuff. It's throughout many of his movies. And it's telling a consistent story. All right, Cowboy Gaiman, appreciate the comments. Lord Laney says Hanged Man is also Odin from the Tree of Life. Yes, quite a few hanged gods. The Odin one is interesting. Of course, he hangs upside down and trades his eye or something for the knowledge of the runes. And he kind of fits the archetype of, because Odin is where we get Odin's Day, and he's the scribe of the gods. Gets the Thoth, the Egyptian version, that all correspond to the planet Mercury. So Wednesday is associated with Mercury, and you'll find that all these various mercurial beings have some kind of relevance to the, I guess, to magic, the language, and specifically the occult language, the runes, for example. They're intermediaries. And Mercury does have the 88-day, I think it's the closest to the sun. So it has some symbolism being close to the sun as being the messenger of the gods. Kevin Mooring says, Jim Morrison, a.k.a. Rush Limbaugh's death days on July is Jim Morrison. I mean, they both had a golden mic. How many years did Rush Limbaugh stream with EIB before he retired? Argument for him being Jim Morrison. Jim Morrison is part of the 27 Club, and the 27 Club is just one example of these other industry death fakers, which happen to occur like in clusters, and like with the fake shootings, they all reinforce each other. That's a reoccurring theme. They all reinforce the reality of the other fake event. Another one has been the Die Young curse. The Die Young curse refers to, I think it's Roddy Ricch, and the song Die Young associated with the deaths of several rappers. Die Young associated with the deaths of several rappers, notably Nipsey Hussle, who was in the video Die Young before he died young, in a cemetery, no less, on an iPhone screen. Okay, so let's move on. Kill Bill. This is a good post by Anna Nicole Wordsmith. The occult operates on creation through destruction. The Kill Bill actor dies on the same day the big, beautiful Bill is passed. So the Kill Bill actor. Now, I noted that, when he passed, I saw that it was in the news. And I wasn't sure, how is this going to be relevant to the PSYOP entertainment complex, or is this just a regular old death? Because it could be just a regular death. But are there any exits from the world stage that aren't somehow scripted or having some kind of utility for the PSYOP entertainment complex? They have some final use for the person. Like, for example, does anybody here think the Pope really died on Easter at 88? The same day Klaus Schwab steps down from the WEF. And in another movie, I don't think it was Reservoir Dogs, I think it was in Kill Bill, there's a scene reminiscent, it has the scene, I think the actress Uma Thurman's character has her, is it her eye? I'll have to pull that up from Gilded. I just saw the image. J5 says, what's the point of pointing out these synchronicities? What do you do with this observation? Um, well, for one thing, these aren't synchronicities. A synchronicity is a meaningful coincidence that is subjectively experienced because the person's thinking about something, and what they're thinking is reflected in the world around them. And it adds to what they were thinking as though they're in a cybernetic responsive system that's actually reflecting their thoughts in some way. The things that we're pointing out in the news media were stuff in what is supposed to be random. It means it's not random, but it doesn't mean it's synchronicity. It doesn't mean it's a simulation or we're in a video game, which a lot of people come across these patterns and they say, oh, these patterns mean that I'm a video game character and everybody's an NPC. And that's exactly the type of misdirection that the intelligence agencies plant there to prevent people from understanding. So this person here says, what's the point of the observing the patterns? If you need somebody to tell you that, you're never going to get the answer because nobody's going to tell you. In fact, you're going to be told by the closed system that these patterns are meaningless. At best, they are eerie coincidences. Eerie coincidences is just one of their catchphrases. Like they're like, oh, the White Noise Netflix show had an eerie coincidence because it preceded a real-life train derailment that was exactly like the movie, and it actually involved actors from the movie as they had to evacuate from their hometowns when the real thing happened. Or, okay, 7/7's coming up. 7/7 was preceded by a BBC documentary about the subways being bombed by Muslim terrorists. Then it happens, and on the day it happens, there are 2 drills going on. And these 2 drills involve... Is that so? It shouldn't be. Actually, I don't know. I'll figure something out. I had this idea for using Mixler audio and keeping the video on just for the chat. So I'll see what I can do.